This is for all you avid gardeners. When are we going to expect our first frost in parts of the country? That is the question. We are diving into the answers. I took this shot just last fall. You could see the frost on that leaf. Yeah. Frost is typical across the country for the fall season, but we saw some early frost in April. You can see this person getting rid of that off their windshield, but also heavy snow was experienced in June in Alberta. Yeah. Not always the most common, but you can certainly see snow and frost any given time of year, but it all depends on your weather conditions. The weather conditions were in favor to see snow just a few weeks ago out in Quebec, but if you head outside today, you're probably wondering, there's certainly no frost. Our temperatures have been quite warm, above seasonal across the country. To dive into more of these frosty expectations, meteorologist Rhythm Reet joins us as we talk about when people can expect their first frost. But Rhythm, before we get there, let's talk about how warm it's been recently across many parts of the country.
When we take a look at our temperatures right across the country, even for your Sunday afternoon, taking those look at those temperature departures, above seasonal temperatures are dominating. This has been one of the stories that we've been covering here for a while. But even when we take a look over the next 10 days, from coast to coast, we are still looking at those above seasonal conditions. But the temperature target for some of those warmer conditions is going to be in April. And Victoria, we just saw some video from Alberta that saw snow in June. So you can definitely see a little bit of a switch up. The frosty conditions are going to be moving in on the back end.
Some folks may be tired of the heat. The question is, when are we going to expect those colder conditions? And does that mean we could get frost just because it's cold?
Yeah, it does. When we are talking about frost, there are three main ingredients that we're looking at. We're looking at those clear skies, cold temperatures, so you need to be near the freezing mark. Even if you're close to 3 degrees, that works, and then light winds. So when we have been talking about our fall forecast, we've been talking about those above seasonal conditions. But for the east and even for the west, what's really going to drive those frosty conditions is going to be those interruptions of some cooler air that funnels on in. So when we take a look at our first frost across western portions of Canada, specifically let's talk about Alberta, September is the average time that we start to see some of those frosty conditions. But interestingly enough, something different we have experienced in the east has been, well, for areas like Timmins and even into Ottawa. So Ottawa generally sees their first frost in October, parts of the Maritimes as well. But early in September, we already got our first couple of frost advisories just west of Ottawa into Bancroft, but also into New Brunswick. That is that same indication of the setup that we have moving into fall, with those cooler interruptions of cold air causing that frost to move on in.
This is a good marker or a good time frame for those people to start taking the outdoor plants, moving them indoors if you need to. Those avid gardeners are certainly going to want to know when the next frost is going to be for them. And it's not just frost we're talking about, Rhythm. Of course, we're knocking on fall's door. Snow, is that a potential?
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look at the national view first of the average first snow. So across the country near the southern portions, we see October to be the average. A little bit of a closer look across the west. One place I want to highlight is Calgary. Calgary, you get your first snow in September, whereas most other regions in October. And a quick snapshot towards the east as well. Geraldine actually already recorded their first couple of flurries in early September.